Hey guys, welcome back to Brian's Train Room. This is part of a series of decorating diagrams that we're going to explore on this channel. And there's some just fascinating ones with some really great information. What is a decorating diagram? Well, behind me is an example of such thing, which is basically just sort of a drawing of, in this case, an F3 that they were like, hey, can we design it this way? What do you think? Tweak it? And should we make it? That is coming your way. Hey guys, welcome back to Brian's Train Room. Today, we're just doing some exploring. Whatever is in this cabinet, we're going to show it to you. Let's figure out what we got here. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. What in the world? Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is coming your way. So what we have here is the stamping layout for the 6519-4, which is the Allis Chalmers sort of generator or condenser car body, which is an absolutely amazing piece. So it shows sort of how the body was sort of set up, and then it says, hey, how we're going to decorate this. All of this is in pencil. So when was this dated? This was dated 1/31 of 58, so pretty early in the process because they needed to get this ready to go or something ready to go for Toy Fair. Okay, so we'll take a little peek at it. It says AC here, these little medallions. It says ACMX 6519, built 658 by Lionel, and it has all the designation numbers. Another product of Allis Chalmers. This is unbelievable. A beautiful piece here too. It basically says the target is in orange, insignia letter and shading proportioned in blue. Now, there was one change order, okay? And that change order says the insignia was redesigned. Okay, so if the insignia was redesigned, what we're looking at in the redesign was originally the insignia was supposed to have these little sawtooth or these ridges around the AC as part of the blue. They took that out, and on regular production, it is smooth all the way around the AC. This is fascinating, even more for me, for the 6519 Allis Chalmers condenser car. Now this particular layout is pretty darn fascinating. Okay, let's take a look at this. Is the stamping layout, body and structure assemblies for the 6414-28, or for the assembly it's the 6414-7, as well as the body and structure assembly for the 6416-3 boat loader and the 6416 boat loader structure assembly. Amazing. So this particular one is dated 8/25 of 55. So in other words, they're trying to figure out how to put this. So the first autoloaders didn't even, this had to be done before the first autoloader was ready to go. And there's some fascinating little tidbits on this particular one. So the first has to do with, let's see what we're looking at. So on the body here, it shows exactly how they wanted the lettering. Lionel, the 6414, exactly where it's going to be. All this is penciled in, and then built 8 of 55. And this is only for part number 6414-28. So keep in mind, this is why there's a designation showing that. It says the auto loader, and all this is in pencil. And remember, only for this one. So it's showing this is how we use it for this one, as well as it gives an incredible detail of the Evans little logos, which of course is only used for the 64147. So they use this for the boat loader as well, but they had to designate this when they're showing the changes to the next one too, which is really neat. I love how they did that. It was very, very methodical. So the other thing you see right here too is the changes that were made for the boat loader, and those were noted on the bottom. And let's see, it says 2/11/61, and this was, see notes, and then also on 1/47/58. It's hard to see, and now it was part this number. So somewhere in there had the designation of when that occurred. But let's take a little peek and see what it said with the boat loader. So the first is it shows how the loading was. or how the boat loader showed on the structure. So they showed that, and remember, it designated getting rid of these little Evans things because that's not part of the boat loader part. And then all this is the same except for built 855 is gone. It still had Lionel, and instead of 6414, you show down here, it says 6416, and instead of built 855, it just said built by Lionel. And I don't think the boat loader, you're right, doesn't. No, that still says Lionel on the bottom. That's interesting. So same as this. So this says Lionel, but then it says built by Lionel. That's interesting. Anyway, so either way, we're going to take a quick little peek around, and it says use the insert for 6416, just the change out on the heat stamp. That's so cool. Unbelievable. This is the stamping layout for the 6414 and the 6416. So this is, rather than a decorating diagram, this is more of a blueprint for the automotive body. It's part number 6414-52, if it's the maroon one. It's a 6414-77 if it's the blue one. It's a 6414-102 if it's the yellow one. Or if it's 6414-127 if it's designating the white one. But the bodies were essentially all the same. So a couple things to note on this too. First of all, this is dated 6/22 of 55. And again, all this is hand drawn. This is not a copy. This is hand drawn. So there's a couple things on here to note. You see the sort of the front and the rear where it shows the medallion in the front, like the hood ornament basically. And it shows a little bit of all the pieces. This was the ones with the wheels. These are the bodies. These are not the cheapies. This is the wheels because this was the early versions of the car. It shows all the dimensions. In other words, exactly how long it is, which, by the way, from the tip of the sort of tail light to the tip of the thing, as everyone knows, this should be exactly 4.454 inches. Amazing. All right, and then you see that there were some changes, and the changes had to do with color, which is interesting. On 6/30 of 55, two changes were made. One was A and B, and it said was M47, was M42, and that went to change A is the blue, which says it was M47, and the yellow, which is now M42. In terms of the color designation associated with the plastic. So that's interesting. So this is absolutely fantastic. This is a beautiful diagram of the automobile bodies, the 6414 bodies. Hey guys. Thanks for watching this special episode video series on the decorating diagrams. There is amazing information about these, about some of your most favorite post-war items and how they got to be the colors and decorated the way that you see them now. There's incredible information in these, and I expect to explore those with you. So if you enjoyed this episode, look out for the other ones. There's more coming your way. And let me tell you, I look forward to exploring every bit of it. So as always, thanks for joining me on Brian's Train Room.
Look at her streak along the rails. It's a Lionel.